Hi people on YouTube, how are you doing? Whatever of English I've been taught, I have self-taught it to myself. Nobody in my homeland speaks English, so whatever of English I'm speaking, I have taught it to myself. Now you may say, stop being arrogant, dear, but only 1/10 of the 1% of the whole population of this country speaks English on a day-to-day basis with each other, and I have no such person in my circle. But now on to the point. So I watched the videos on Formality by Clark, Eli and Robin from R.C. Waldun on YouTube, so you may check those videos. They're linked in the description. I would have loved to be in that conversation, that 4.5 hour long conversation with the two brothers, but I'm not currently in America. So yes, I'm a psychology and literature student, and also I'm a business student too. So regarding formality, well, I like the points that Clark made in his video about urgency, that if there is an issue of urgency and a personality, a character which is formal and eloquent, he can convey that message to the audience, and the audience will listen because the audience respects him, and he is taught, and he has established himself as an intellectual. Clark mentioned Dr. Jordan Peterson. He's very eloquent, and people listen to him, and he tells us to be responsible. So because he's formal, it definitely helps. There should be an air of formality in someone who has to make a difference in the world, because formality is related to seriousness and thought, and casual things and casual behavior, casual acting, casual conversations, they are not talking about the high philosophical concepts and ideals. They're talking about the daily mundanities. They're talking about food, maybe clothing, maybe fashion, or maybe cars, etc. So formality definitely helps, but there's a catch, and the catch is if you're too formal, and if you're so formal that you even alienate your friends, then you won't grow intellectually. For example, myself, I have 2 or 3 intellectual friends, and I'm not formal with them. But when we talk and when we argue, we make points, and we're at ease in making those points and making our differences appear through our language. We're at ease because there's an emotional attachment with one another. So, and that's in the friend circle. But the speakers who speak to thousands and thousands of people, even if there is an emotional attachment, there is not a casual relationship. There is always a distance of formality. So formality is like it's a powerful rhetorical tool in the right circle. Do not be formal with close friends, and if you are formal with them, that means they are not your close friends. That means they may be distant friends, they may be acquaintances, but how can you be formal to close friends? It's not like you need to tell bad jokes to them. Alright, so yes, Robin, you did a comical video. It's like the concept you conveyed, that is stick up in the butt. Yes, I agree to some extent, and there's also a difference. When people get into philosophy and literature, they're getting all these ideas and all these virtuous and real ideas into their heads, and it really affects their hearts. And the thing with literature, and a good reader of literature, is that reader allows the literature to have an effect upon himself. if you do not allow literature to have an effect upon yourself, you really not have read that book to the fullest degree of absorption possible, absorption of knowledge and absorption of new thinking patterns. But let literature have an effect upon you, and it will definitely change you for the better even, and sometimes for the worse. For example, I read Crime and Punishment just recently. I finished that in 2 weeks. It was Dostoevsky's one of first novels, 1866. So, Raskolnikov, if I was not strong enough, and if I didn't have a background in crime and in philosophy, that would be a heavy book for me. And if that would be too heavy a book for me, I wouldn't be able to finish it. But my formality and my principles gave me grounds on which I could let Crime and Punishment, its concepts come in. I could give them home for a temporary period on my principles and my foundations, and talk to those ideals. And when I talk to those ideals, I take the good and I separate the bad ideas, and I say to them bye-bye. You need to have that principle, that foundation on which you have that conversation, and take the good and repel the bad. For example, I won't condone murder like in Crime and Punishment, and he was a nihilist sort of character. But formality always helps. It gives you an air of authority in strangers. So this is all for today, and I would love to have a conversation with you, Robin, R.C. Waldun, and Clark from Clark Eli. So I will see you and even talk to you, and talk to my YouTube people, YouTube family, intellectual family, though the family that is motivated to work for the better, that is motivated to upgrade themselves, as Clark said, to upgrade the principle, to have high principles. So you're motivated, I know, that's why you're watching this video. So I will see you in the next video, and we'll see on which topic we'll talk. Take care, bye.